वंशी विभूषितकरा नवनीर्दाभात् पीताम्बरा दरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Divine souls, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Since last 3 weeks, we have been contemplating upon chapter 12. So far, we have gone through verse mantra 1 of chapter 12, and we have realized the depth of that question which Arjuna has asked to Bhagavan. We have understood that Arjuna wanted to know from Bhagavan as to who is the best knower of yoga, who is best versed in yoga. One, those who ever steadfast meditate on you, that is Twam, the manifest, or those who meditate on unmanifest, Nirakara Brahma. So the question is whether the one who does upasana on your form or on your formless aksharam abhyaktam, who among these are the best knower of yoga? That is the question we have understood, and we have gone through some detail about what is in the mind of Arjuna, what is likely his understanding about this Nirakara Brahma. We will not go further on that. Let me see what Bhagavan has to reply. That is given in mantra 2. We all know very well. Bhagavan says, Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te Me Yuktatamamata. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord said, Ye, those Mai Aveshya Manaha, who fix their minds on me, Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate, always remain engaged in my devotion. Paraya Shraddhaya Upetaha, endowed with supreme faith. Te me Yukta Tamaha, them I consider to be the most perfect in yoga. The Lord says, those who fix their minds on me and always engage in my devotion, endowed with supreme faith, to them I consider to be the most perfect in yoga. Now you see, the reply which Bhagavan has given is very straightforward, very clear, very explicit. Let me pause a bit here and divert a bit in a direction as to the question and reply. Arjuna asks question and Bhagavan gives reply. That is the whole Bhagavad Gita. It was mentioned that there are 17 questions which Arjuna has asked to Bhagavan. This leaves behind those 8 questions with chapter 8, verse 1, Kim Tad Brahm, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Purushottama. You take that out. That's it. Now, if you look at the question number 1, that is the 7th verse of chapter 2. Karpanyo dosho pahata svabhava prikshami tvam dharma sambhuda cheta yachrayasa nishitam bruhitan me shishyasatyam tvam shishyaste tvam sadhi mam prapannam. And the question is, yachrayasa nishitam, हमारे लिए श्रेय क्या है वो बता दीजिए. कितना साधारण क्वेश्चन है. अगर कोई भक्त भगवान के पास जाता है और या कोई दीन दुखिया किसी के पास जाता है, कहता है मेरे लिए क्या कल्याणकारी है वो हमें बता दीजिए, तो कल्याणकारी बता देना चाहिए था. अब भगवान ने क्या किया? भगवान ने कहा more or less he ridiculed him for his question. अरे सोचा न सोचस्तम प्रज्ञावादा से भाषा से गदासून स नानु सोचंदी पंडिता. अरे तुम पंडित की तरह बात करता है, इतना तो आप व्याख्यान दे दिया, पूरा पहला चैप्टर क्या क्या नहीं कहा गया, सब पंडित वाली बात, जैसे ज्ञान जिससे आत्मज्ञान है वैसे बात तुम कर गया और हमसे कहते हो कल्याण की बात करो. अरे तो इन ए वे भगवान, instead of giving him the straightforward answer to his question, what he did, he in a way ridiculed him. Not only that, he also laughed at him that he has muskan. तो ये लंबी लंबी बातें करता है और ये नहीं जानता है कि जो गतासून अगतासून नानु सोचंती पंडिता. तो यहां पर भी भगवान, और फिर उसके बाद दूसरा अध्याय का पूरा कर्म योग और ज्ञान की बातें, सांख्य योग, सारी बातें बोलते चले गए भगवान. अर्जुन had to again ask question. भाषा समाधि. I will not go in detail, but let me take up again the last question which Arjuna asked. What was that? Last question is the first verse of chapter 18. Sannyāsastu mahābāho tattvamikṣāmi veditum tyāgasya ca hrishikesha prithakesina sudana. कितना सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. प्लीज टेल मी व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन त्याग एंड संन्यास. बट लुक एट द आंसर. भगवान did not give a straightforward answer to him. First he said, काम्यानाम कर्मणाम कृष्ण संन्यासम कवयो विदुः सर्व कर्म फलत्यागम प्राहुस्त्याग विचक्षणा. पहले विदुः की बात, कवयो विदुः. Kavyo means those people who are sages and saints. Then he talked about manishinah, the wages, what he says about tyaga. Then he talks about the vichakshana, wise people, and chapare anya. Then he goes on to say nischayam srume tatra. And when he says that, he talks of again 3 kinds of tyaga: satyuk tyaga, rasik tyaga. What I'm trying to say, that in here Bhagavan wanted to strike straightway and clarify the doubt in the mind of Arjuna, whether I am Brahma, I am Paramatma, and you should be worshipping and meditating on me, on this form, instead of thinking about the formless and the one Abhyakta, Anirdesha, all those things which are not attributes, but these are the complements of Bhagavan, which is Nirakar, Nirgun Brahma. So here, instead of taking Arjuna through the philosophy of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, all those, Bhagavan has hammered straightway and told him, one who meditates on me, Mam, the word Mam, he says, in my form, मेरा साकार रूप की उपासना करता है, He is the most perfect yogi according to me. वह सर्वश्रेष्ठ योगी है. So he has said that, but these people understand very well. But then with that, the certain conditions are also put in, not often emphasized on that. We can say, हाँ भगवान कहते हैं मेरी पूजा करो, so मेरी अर्चना करते हैं, पूजा करते हैं. But in that puja, in that archana, in that meditation, if you do not put your mind onto me, maya vesya manaha, if your mind is not fixed on him, if his mind is not concentrated on him, if his mind is fully engaged in him, then your puja, your upasana, your meditation, all those things will not have the impact. It must be understood that in the Bhagavad Gita, the words, every word has its deep meaning. There is no word which is superfluous. A number of thoughts come to my mind, but I will not go in that. We should understand that in this mantra, Vardra 2, if Bhagavan says Nitya Yukta Upasate, it should be Nitya Yukta. If he says Shraddhaya Upetaha Paraya, supreme Shraddha, then there must be supreme Shraddha as you sit down and meditate, as you sit down and pray, as you sit down and think of him, there must be Shraddha in that. There must be prem in that. There must be bhakti in that. So these are the conditions which Bhagavan has laid on his discourse in explaining, in telling straightforward this direction, that you meditate on me, considering me to be the Brahma, and then with these three conditions, you move ahead and realize that I am Brahma. Now, this thing Bhagavan has already told Arjuna before also. In verse 34 of chapter 9, he had told this. Mamana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasat yuktevam atmanam matparayanaha. What happens if somebody tells you gives you some instruction? You may not be in that plane of mind. Your mind is not in the receptive mode to be able to grasp everything what is told to you. When you go to lecture or class or anything, oh, बहुत बढ़िया प्रवचन दिया, भगवान गुरु थे जो साधु महात्मा ने बहुत बढ़िया प्रवचन दिया, और पूछते हैं क्या प्रवचन में बताया. Then you start thinking what was told. You have number of things have gone beyond you. So you do not keep that stayed in your receptacle, which your mind is. In the mind, you have got the receptacle to be able to receive, grasp, and retain it. So the power of retaining is not all the time there unless you are fully concentrating your mind onto the thoughts which are put before you. Then it sticks there. But when you ask a question and you get the reply, then you are certainly concentrating on the reply which is oncoming, and then receptacle is open, and that receives its receptacle, and it retains there. So that is the importance. Bhagavan had told him, Arjuna, manmana bhava, always think of me. See, the mana and him is the connection which is always throughout Bhagavad Gita. Many places he has kept talking about. Devoted to me, worship me, observe obeisance to me, having dedicated your mind and body to me, you will certainly come to me. How many times Bhagavan has emphasized this point that you should think always of me, worship me, pray get devoted onto me, and he will come to me. And interestingly enough, this is the one verse which is almost fully repeated towards the end, chapter 18, in verse 65. The first part is exactly the same as here, Mana Mana Bhav Mad Bhakto, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. And you see the beauty here. This verse, Bhagavan is saying in 65, when almost everything has been told to him, and Jathe Sasu Tatha Guru, he has told that. After having told to him, तुम्हारे मन में जो आवे सो करो, it fell to him. लगता है अर्जुन को मेरा सहारा छूट गया. मुझे जो कहना था तो कह दिया, अब तुम्हारे मर्जी हो जो करो. And say, you are my priya Pratijane Priyosime. You are so dear to me. You're so loving to me. You are that I cannot just leave you like that. And then he said again, Anbhana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Namaskuru Mameisha Satyamte Pratijane Priyosime. I am telling you because you're so dear to me. You must think always of me. Be devoted to me. Worship me. Offer business to me, and doing so you will come to me. Don't get disheartened. More or less assurance Bhagavan is given to that. Now that is the one message Bhagavan has already told in this verse, in second mantra of 12th chapter. Now the most important thing, as you can see here, everywhere, Manamana, it is mind which has to be put in there. It is, so how one should put the mind onto me? The question arises when he say this, when this is the most important thing for anybody, any devotee, any sadhak, any upasak. आप उपासना करते हो तो क्या आपका, you see, when we do japa, I also feel several times when I do japa, I get lost and my mind goes somewhere else. Then, but this goes on. The japa is, rosary is moving, and maybe mouth also or man is also moving, but your mind is not on Brahma. You all are witness to this. This happens to everybody because man is so overpowering on you that you get lost. Even though you try to yato nischarati manas chanchala masitam tato niyame, you try that, you know that, you are aware of that, but still mind will run away. So the most important part of any sadhaka to practice is to control the mind. How one is able to keep the mind under control and do not let it run away to samsara. This is the most important exercise each and every devotee of Gita, every devotee of Bhagavan must practice. And that's what brings me to that session which we went through earlier. This we have gone through when we talked about chapter 6, how to fix our mind. How to fix mind on me. I will not hesitate in going through this again because number of you were not present in that. And even if we repeat, Bhagavan has repeated, we are human beings, why not we repeat? With this repetition, probably we can get more involved in asking our mind, in asking ourselves how to keep our mind under full control. You see, these three verses, 18, 19, and 20 of chapter 6, Bhagavan has given beautifully in Dhyana Yoga, chapter 6, the process of meditation. And culmination of that meditation, there is a word called Dhyana Swarupam. Actually, Dhyana Swarupa is a book. Tejo Bayananji Swamiji has written this book, Dhyana Swarupam, and is worth going through that. So there is a detailed description of the behavior of mind and how to tame that mind, the behavior of mind, to come to the stage where it can remain still. So there is a process of meditation involved, and that is given in verses 18 and 19. And in 20, that is phala. If you practice those process dhyana sarupam, you will get dhyana phalam, and that is the culmination of meditation. You know very well the various stages of chitta. There is vikchitta, ekagra, and niruddha. This is the highest level, and that takes you through dharana, dhyan, or samadhi. These are the last three stages in Patanjali Yoga Shastra, Ashtanga Yoga. These are the last three processes which are involved in dhyana, in dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. What is dharana? Dharana is trying to control your mind so that the point of focus. So you are meditating, and there you have the object in front of you, of Bhagwan or thing, and you allow your mind and self, the vritti, to remain focused on one spot. But that focus will not be all the time onto the object. So you get a kagra chitta, then that is fully focused on the self. That is dhyan. So from dharana, it goes to dhyan. There is total absence of vritti. No more, with mind there is attached vritti. You discard the vritti away, so the mind remains concentrating, and there is absence of vritti altogether. And then the stage comes when you are totally absorbed in the self. The movement, there is no more movement, it's completely still. When it is still, you are still with yourself. But a time comes when your feeling that you are here, you are there. You become one with Brahma. So that is the stage of union of this Jivatma with Paramatma. And that stage is the culmination. That is called Samadhi. And that is the highest level. And I have shown this picture before to practice on this. This is the Natvar Asan. This Asan is Natvar Asan. It's beautiful. What happens? Lord Krishna is standing on the left leg with the right leg crossed across. You see, this is the stage, and I hope you have practiced this. If you have not practiced, this is worth practicing. You try to see, it is not easy. To stand on your left leg you stand, your whole body weight is on left leg. And then you cross your other leg across, and that is touching on the floor. Not so much of having weight, but balancing. The act of balancing is done. So there is a left leg which is standing on left leg with the right crossed leg. It signifies deep meditation, detachment from worldly affairs, a high level of spiritual awareness. When you put yourself in that position, gradually you will find that you are able to concentrate better. You are able to balance yourself better. You are able to transcend the physical attachment. You are not associated with sansar at that time. You are gradually getting yourself meditating onto the one in front of you. If you have the image there, you are able to balance the spiritual and material world. Abhyasena the kaunteya vairagyena cha girujyate. That stage comes, and you are in that Natvar Asan, able to concentrate. More importantly, when we start concentrating on the form, we should first concentrate ourselves within the framework of the frame. Don't allow the mind to go anywhere outside the frame, all the time within. Then you concentrate on one spot, maybe the foot of Bhagwan, and see that your head is engaged in that foot. You're sitting on your seat, but your mind is such that it is you put your head on that and gradually detach yourself so that your foot remains there. These are the processes involved in meditation. I have gone through this earlier, but I thought better to do it again for the benefit of us all. Now, this is another picture which is shown where you have mind is desireless. When your desire is gone, yada deepo nivatastho nengte so ma smrita, you know that verse, that the mind is still and you are able to have the windless lamp. When there's no wind, there's no desire, the mind remains steady and you are able to concentrate better. Now, let us move to the other aspect which is mentioned in this mantra, Nitya Yukta, Satata Yukta. Now, these are words that are out of the word Yukta. And the definition of Yukta has been given in Bhagavad Gita in many places. I will not go in detail, but I mention here the verses where you will find Yukta. Yukta karam param tyakta santi mapnoti naistakim ayukta kam karena phale saptone. There are so many verses Yukta is given. So that Yukta, that is united, but that union should be constant. Nitya Yukta, Satada Yukta, that you are not Yukta, एक बार हो गया भगवान के चरण में रख दिया आपने सर को और फिर खत्म. No, if you are able to concentrate yourself, your mind onto the one location of Brahma, either on the flute or on the feet, and remain there as long as possible. It can't be, of course, all the time, but as much as possible, perpetually, continuously, there's incessantly, gapless. I can use so many words to express the same thing, and Bhagavan has used so many words. Nitya Yukta, Satata Yukta, you should be Yukta and all the time, all the moment, you should be concerned with utmost Shraddha. There is no need to emphasize more and more and more. How many times Shraddhavan Lafte Jnanam Tatpara Sanjite. How many times Bhagavan has talked about Shraddha, that if you are meditating, you are doing upasana, you are doing फूल फेंक दिया नहीं, फूल फेंकना नहीं है, जल चढ़ा दिया ऐसे नहीं, श्रद्धा के साथ, मन के साथ, मन को अपने श्रद्धा से भर करके, श्रद्धा से ओतप्रोत होकर के हम अगर उपासना करेंगे, if you worship, then you will have so much of added on the upasana, love and shraddha, that you will gain that devotion, and you will be able to do that. Now, I think my time is coming closer, but let me go through the verse. Now we move on to verse 3 and 4. They are joined together. This is we are talking about. Then Nirakar, Nirguna, Nirakar Brahma. Ye tvaksharam nirdesyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam chintyam cha kutastha dhruvam sanniyam indriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhutahite ratah. The word here, ye tvakshara, tu word is very significant. भगवान कहते हैं मैंने तुमको तो तुमने पूछा दोनों में कौन किसकी उपासना ज्यादा करूं, कौन ज्यादा श्रेष्ठ योगी है, मैं तो बता तो दिया, लेकिन तू, but there is something to be told to you, and that Bhagavan will tell in this verse, that is in the 3rd and 4th verse. Bhagavan will tell. I will talk to you next week. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Gurudev.